They were unleashed to hunt down a former CIA agent. But he was no ordinary agent, and the fight on that day was about to prove his brutality. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. We kick things off meeting this dude named Jack. He's ex-Marine, all hardcore and battle-worn, and now works as a hitman for the CIA. At the moment, Jack's hanging out in Morocco on a mission. His latest task? Take down a terrorist. No big deal, right? So, after sweating it out in his morning workout, Jack fires up his laptop and gets a message from his contact. The intel? His target, a dude named Omar, is flying into the local airport around 11 a.m., and he's planning to check into a hotel straight after landing. Jack's boss wants the job done before Omar even gets cozy at the hotel. Turns out, this Omar guy is no small-time criminal. He's actually a big-shot terrorist who's been behind several attacks on American soil. Hearing that, Jack knows he's got no time to mess around. He quickly gears up, grabs his weapons, and heads straight to the airport to get things rolling. Not long after, Omar lands, rolling deep with a squad of bodyguards. The whole gang makes their way toward the hotel. Meanwhile, Jack's keeping a close eye on them, shadowing from a distance, waiting for his moment to strike. But as he's tailing them, two sharp-eyed local detectives catch on to Jack's suspicious behavior. Realizing someone's tracking someone else, they decide to follow Jack, which turns everything into a bit of a cat-and-mouse game. Jack clocks them in his rearview mirror and knows he's been made. A chase kicks off, and Jack ditches his car, darting into a narrow alleyway. Luckily, his clients already set up a backup car, stashed there for a quick getaway. Talk about planning ahead. Jack outmaneuvers the detectives, loses them, and makes his way toward the hotel where Omar's headed. Outside the hotel, Jack's ready to make his move. He whips out a high-tech phone that his handler gave him, a fancy gadget that can remotely lock Omar's convoy of cars for exactly 20 seconds. In that small window, Jack sneaks up and bang, takes Omar out cleanly. Mission accomplished. With Omar out of the picture, Jack links up with Lee, his CIA handler who's been feeding him all these dangerous gigs. Lee wastes no time and tells Jack there's another job lined up for him in England. She hands him a plane ticket and tells him to jet off ASAP. When Jack arrives, he finds out he's not flying solo this time. Lee introduces him to two other hitmen who are supposed to be his partners on this mission. Jack's not thrilled about the idea. He's a lone wolf type, used to working solo, and tells Lee straight up that he doesn't need backup. But Lee insists. The new target is a nasty arms dealer who's been selling weapons to terrorists. And not just that, this guy even tried to have the president of the US assassinated. Taking him down is not going to be a walk in the park. Lee shows Jack a photo of their new target, a man named McNight. She explains that the key to finding McNight is locating a dude named Hassan, who knows where McKnight's hiding out. To track down Hassan, they need to first get to one of his close buddies, Dayton. Jack immediately recognizes Dayton from the photos. He's a British ex-soldier Jack actually saved back in the day during a rough mission in Afghanistan. Deciding to use that old connection, Jack figures Dayton's his best bet to track down Hassan quickly. So, after landing in England, Jack and his two new partners head straight to Dayton's place. On the way, one of the new guys starts making small talk, saying he's heard Jack's got a family back home, including a wife who just had a baby. He asks why Jack hasn't packed it all in and retired yet. Jack shrugs it off, saying he plans to call it quits and head back to the States after this mission's wrapped. A few hours later, they pull up at Dayton's house. Dayton greets Jack warmly, clearly remembering how Jack saved his skin in Afghanistan. Jack explains the new mission. They're hunting down McNight, the arms dealer, and to get to him, they need Hassan's help. Dayton listens, but gets a little cagey, saying Hassan's basically like a brother to him, and he's not about to sell him out. Jack reassures him that Hassan's not their target. They just need to question him, no harm done. Dayton eventually agrees to help, but insists they all sit down and have lunch first. Gotta love the British manners, even in a hitman scenario. Meanwhile, over on McKnight's side, things aren't looking too friendly. He's grilling one of his underlings who's been feeding him bad intel. McKnight's had enough of the lies, and, without flinching, orders his soldiers to take out the snitch. Back to Jack's crew, Dayton leads them to Hassan's spot. But surprise, surprise, it's a setup. Turns out Dayton and Hassan have flipped and are now working with McNight. The minute Jack and his crew step in, bullets start flying. In the chaos, Dayton guns down one of Jack's partners. Jack's ready to fire back, but the blaring sound of police sirens forces him and his last surviving partner to make a run for it. Later, Jack and his surviving partner, Samuelson, meet up with Lee to regroup. Jack fills her in on the betrayal. Dayton double-crossed them and took out one of their own. Over on the other side, Dayton's on the phone with McNight, updating him on the situation. He tells McNight that of the 3 hitmen, he's already killed one and only 2 are left. McNight, impressed, offers Dayton a fat bonus and tells him to finish the job. Turns out, Dayton owns a private security company, which McNight has hired for extra muscle while he's in England. Lee's team, meanwhile, digs up this info and confirms Dayton's role as McKnight's personal bodyguard. They even locate Dayton's secret office. Lee brings Jack and Samuelson up to speed and sends them off to infiltrate Dayton's office for more clues about McKnight's location. While heading there, Jack gives Dayton a call, basically to talk smack. Jack's disgusted that Dayton's working for a mob boss now. Dayton, cool as ever, tells Jack it's nothing personal, just business, and warns him to back off before he gets himself killed. Jack fires back, saying he's coming for Dayton first. Jack and Samuelson sneak into Dayton's office, hoping to dig up something useful. But Dayton, watching through the security cams, spots them and sends his goons to intercept. Jack and Samuelson search the place, but come up empty-handed. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, they rig the office with explosives. As they're leaving, Samuelson tells Jack to wait and watch Dayton's reaction from a distance. Once Dayton's guys show up, Samuelson hits the detonator, blowing the place sky-high. Dayton's furious, vowing revenge, while Jack and Samuelson make a smooth getaway. Later, Jack gets crafty and uses Samuelson's phone to send a taunting message to Dayton. Predictably, Dayton's hacker traces the phone, and Dayton orders his men to track Jack down immediately. But it's all part of Jack's plan, to lure Dayton's forces out into the open. Jack has Samuelson ring up Lee to find a spot where they can ambush Dayton's crew. Lee scopes out some locations and decides an abandoned factory near their base is the perfect spot. She also sends in 2 CIA agents as reinforcements. Jack and Samuelson roll up to the factory, meet the agents, and without wasting any time, they load up their weapons and prepare for the big showdown. Things are about to get real messy. Dayton's squad rolled up at the plant, creeping through the place all stealth-like. Just as things were about to explode into full-on combat, Lee pulled Jack and Samuelson aside, reminding them to grab Dayton alive. Turns out he had the inside scoop on where McNight was hiding out. But right when they were about to dive in, boom, Lee's connection to them got totally cut off, leaving her stuck, no way to guide them through the mission anymore. Even without her help, though, Jack and Samuelson managed to pin Dayton down during the chaos and slap some cuffs on him fast. But, of course, nothing's ever that easy. Samuelson got shot, and Jack had no choice but to focus on keeping his buddy alive instead of securing Dayton. Things spiraled, and Dayton saw his shot and bolted. With Samuelson bleeding out and the mission falling apart, they decided to retreat and get the heck out of there. An hour later, the situation got even worse. 2 CIA agents that Lee had sent as backup were found dead. While all that was unfolding, Dayton swiped a phone from one of those agents and hit up Lee. When she picked up, Dayton didn't waste any time making threats. He said once he was done wiping out Jack and Samuelson, she was next on his list. But Lee wasn't rattled. She told him straight up that the CIA would hunt him forever unless he played ball. Dayton, realizing things were spiraling fast, said he was open to a deal, but only if it worked out well for him too. They agreed to meet up. Dayton showed up, acting all business, and told Lee he was ready to hand McNight over if she doubled whatever McNight was paying him. On top of that, Dayton wanted her to deliver Jack and Samuelson to him because those two had trashed his office and he wanted payback. Lee agreed pretty quick. She absolutely hated McNight and would do anything to take him down. That night, Lee sent Jack and Samuelson on another mission. She told them McNight was hiding out on this boat docked by the lake. Jack and Samuelson moved in, took out a bunch of McKnight's guards, but, big surprise, McNight wasn't even there, just a few of his lackeys. As they were about to bounce, out of nowhere Dayton's crew surrounded them, turning the whole thing into a massive shootout. During the fight, Dayton started messing with Samuelson, throwing taunts and getting under his skin. Samuelson, pissed and humiliated, made a rash move. He jumped out of cover, blasting in every direction. But the dude ran out of ammo fast, and Dayton's men cornered him. Not backing down, Samuelson challenged Dayton to a one-on-one brawl. Dayton was like, "Bring it on." Samuelson was actually winning for a bit, landing some solid punches, but Dayton wasn't playing fair. He pulled a gun mid-fight and shot Samuelson dead. Meanwhile, Jack, realizing he was totally outnumbered, dipped out of there fast, not wanting to end up like Samuelson. He made it back to Lee and broke the bad news. Samuelson was dead, and McNight hadn't even been on that boat. Lee put on her best sad face, saying she regretted giving them false intel about McNight being there. What Jack didn't know, though, was that Lee had lied to them on purpose to set them up, making sure Dayton's men would be waiting to ambush them. Jack was clueless about the fact that Lee and Dayton were secretly working together the whole time. Meanwhile, McNight was fuming at Dayton. He paid him a fat stack of cash to take Jack out, and the job hadn't been done. McNight was scared. Jack had a brutal rep, and McNight didn't want to be anywhere near him. Dayton, trying to fix the mess, put his two top guys on guard duty to protect McNight while he and the rest of his team went hunting for Jack. Lee, back in planning mode, told Jack they should target Dayton's family. Her logic? Kidnap his family, and Dayton would spill McKnight's location for sure. Jack wasn't feeling it. Dragging innocent people into their mess didn't sit right with him. But Lee pushed hard, talking him into it, and soon enough Jack was on his way to find Dayton's family home. Here's the twist. Right after Jack left, Lee shot Dayton a message, tipping him off that it was a trap. Dayton, realizing he was being played, quickly sent a squad to ambush Jack on his way to the house. Sure enough, Jack got attacked mid-route, but being the badass he is, he handled the attackers like it was nothing. He even snatched one of Dayton's guys and grilled him for info. The dude, scared out of his mind, confessed that Lee had tipped Dayton off. Now Jack was seeing the full picture. Jack grabbed the guy's phone and sent Dayton a text, pretending to be one of his men, saying Jack had been killed. Dayton bought it and got hyped, thinking Jack was finally out of the picture. He quickly rang up Lee, saying the coast was clear and told her to meet him at McKnight's hideout, but not to forget the payment. Dayton's crew showed up at McKnight's spot soon after, ready to surround him, but McKnight was already gone. To make things worse, the two guards Dayton had left to protect McKnight were dead too. Lee arrived around the same time and was furious, laying into Dayton for blowing the whole thing. Jack was supposedly dead, and yet McKnight still managed to escape. Dayton tried to calm her down, telling his crew to keep looking for McKnight. Eventually, his hacker picked up McKnight's trail. Turns out he was heading to the airport. Right around then, Lee got a call from McKnight himself. He told her to turn up the volume so everyone could hear. McKnight revealed that he'd known about Lee and Dayton's little scheme from the start. He also pointed out that Dayton was being played because Lee was never planning to pay him. This was personal for her. Lee wasn't working for the CIA officially. She was out for revenge because McKnight had killed her father. Lee, furious, kidnapped one of Dayton's guys to prove McKnight was telling the truth. Then, out of nowhere, Jack showed up, guns blazing. Things got crazy fast. Lee wiped out the rest of Dayton's crew while Jack went one-on-one with Dayton. After an intense fight, Jack finally killed Dayton. With Dayton out of the picture, Jack and Lee headed for the airport to track down McKnight. Even though Jack knew Lee had betrayed him, he kept it professional. After all, she was still technically his client. Lee apologized over and over, but Jack just stayed quiet, keeping his focus. Meanwhile, McKnight was already at the airport, getting ready to catch a flight from England to Russia. His guys told him the plane would be there in 20 minutes. Jack and Lee pulled up near the airport, and Jack told Lee to hang back in the car while he handled business. Jack sneaked into the area and planted a bomb. Soon enough, the plane showed up, and McKnight spotted Jack, setting off another gunfight. Jack blew the bomb and sprinted after McKnight down the runway. McKnight's men tried to stop him, but Jack took them out one by one. McKnight, desperate, tried to force the pilot to take off immediately, but Jack wasn't letting him get away. Jack grabbed a nearby truck and used it to block the plane's path. McKnight jumped out, trying to ram Jack with a car, but Jack dodged just in time. Lee seized her moment and shot McKnight, catching him totally off guard. Sadly, Lee was hit multiple times in the chaos and died after thanking Jack for helping her get her revenge. Jack, bummed out that his payday was gone now that Lee was dead, grabbed the plane and told the pilot to fly him back to the States. But his mood brightened fast when he found all of McKnight's cash stashed inside the plane. Not a bad consolation prize. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around till the end. I really appreciate the support. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.